For decades, riders were told real motorcycles needed a clutch, but thousands of older riders are quietly proving the opposite. Because once traffic jams, sore wrists, heavy touring bikes, and stop and go, fatigue start wearing you down. Shifting stops feeling fun and starts feeling like work. Today, we are revealing 15 DCT motorcycles, changing everything for riders over 50. Smoother launches, stress-free touring, and low-speed control, so seamless many owners say they will never go back to manual again. And trust me, the machine sitting at number 1 completely rewrites what freedom feels like. Number 15. Honda NC 750 X DCT. Some motorcycles get riders excited for a weekend. The Honda NC 750 X DCT is different. It makes riders want to keep riding for years. And for many seniors, that matters a whole lot more. This bike is not loud, not flashy, not built to show off outside a coffee shop. What it does deliver is something older riders quietly begin appreciating more with age, less effort. Honda's dual clutch transmission removes constant clutch work completely, making traffic, hill starts, and slow parking lot maneuvers feel remarkably calm and controlled. The 745 cubic centimeter parallel twin is tuned for smooth low and pull instead of aggressive speed, giving the NC an easygoing personality that never feels overwhelming. Add the upright riding posture, practical storage compartment, excellent fuel economy, and manageable ergonomics, and this thing becomes unbelievably simple to live with. New models usually sit around $10,000, while used DCT versions offer tremendous value for returning riders. And if this video feels like it is speaking directly to the kind of riding you actually do now, drop a quick hype in the comments and subscribe. It genuinely helps us keep making videos focused on real-world comfort, not just spec sheet nonsense. Most riders stop caring about after 50, and this next motorcycle turns clutch-free riding into full-blown highway luxury. Number 14. Honda Rebel 1100 DCT. For a lot of older riders, the Honda Rebel 1100 DCT feels less like a new motorcycle and more like a second chance to enjoy riding without the physical wear that slowly sneaks up over the years. This bike does not bury you under massive weight or overwhelm you with luxury gadgets. Instead, it focuses on something far more important, making every mile feel natural again. Honda's dual clutch transmission removes constant clutch work completely, turning stop-and-go traffic, tight parking lots, and slow speed, crawling into a far less tiring experience for aging hands, wrists, and shoulders. The 1,083 cubic centimeter parallel twin delivers a rich low-end torque with a smooth, unhurried character that feels perfectly matched to relaxed cruising. And thanks to the approachable 27.5-inch seat height, riders get that reassuring flat-foot confidence at every stoplight. Brand new models usually land just above $10,000, while clean used examples from recent years often range between $7,000 and $9,000. And here is what surprises many longtime manual riders most. Once the exhaustion disappears, they start looking for excuses to ride again. But after 6 months or so, many former touring riders start wanting something bigger. More wind protection, more highway luxury, more long-distance support for aging backs and knees. And that desire points directly toward the next machine, the one that turned DCT touring into a completely different experience. Number 13. Honda Goldwing DCT. Many experienced riders do not walk away from motorcycles because the passion disappears. They walk away because the physical effort slowly starts outweighing the enjoyment. Heavy clutch pull, endless shifting, aching knees in traffic, exhaustion after long highway days. The Goldwing was built to fight that battle, and it does it beautifully. The 1,833 cubic centimeter flat 6-engine delivers power with incredible refinement, almost silky at cruising speed. Honda's DCT system removes constant clutch work entirely, making traffic feel calmer and low speed, maneuvering far less stressful. Add walk mode and reverse assist, and suddenly an 800-pound touring machine feels dramatically less intimidating in parking lots. The seating is plush, the wind protection is outstanding, and cross-country travel becomes surprisingly gentle on aging joints and tired shoulders. New Goldwing Tour DCT models usually begin around $30,000, while clean used examples often range between $18,000 and $27,000, depending on year and trim. Yes, it is large. Yes, repairs can be expensive, but many longtime owners say something fascinating happens. After months with this motorcycle, they stop ending rides, exhausted, and start wondering how much farther they can go. That is exactly why it is time to hear from you. Have you actually switched from a manual motorcycle to DCT or automatic riding yet? And if you did, what surprised you most after a few months? The comfort, the smoother traffic control, or just how much less exhausting long rides became? Leave a comment below, because riders considering the switch are reading these experiences before they spend thousands on their next machine. The Goldwing feels almost unreal in the way it hides its weight and smooths out every mile. But not every rider wants full dress, luxury wrapped around them all day. Some still crave open visibility, taller ergonomics, and the feeling that the road does not have to end when the pavement does. That is exactly where the next direction in DCT evolution changed everything, by bringing clutch, free comfort into the adventure world. Number 12. Honda Africa Twin DCT. This is not some watered-down easy rider machine built to soften adventure. The Africa Twin still feels bold, capable, and ready to wander far beyond the next county line. But Honda's DCT system quietly removes one of the most exhausting parts of long-distance riding: constant clutch work. In traffic, on steep hills, or crawling through rough roads, the automatic transmission handles shifting with impressive smoothness, reducing strain on aging wrists, shoulders, and hands. And after several hours in the saddle, that reduced workload becomes impossible to ignore. The 1,084 cubic centimeter parallel twin delivers broad, steady torque without feeling aggressive or intimidating. Wide handlebars, upright ergonomics, and commanding visibility create a riding position built for serious mileage without punishing your back or knees. Now yes, the Africa Twin sits taller than many motorcycles here, which can challenge shorter riders during parking lot maneuvers. But once moving, the bike feels remarkably balanced and composed. New DCT models usually begin around $15,000, while clean used examples often range anywhere from $9,000 to $16,000, depending on trim and condition. And what truly makes this Honda special is not just where it can take you, but how much energy you still have left once you get there. But the next motorcycle approaches DCT comfort from an entirely different angle, replacing rugged exploration with something far more refined, polished, and highway-focused. Number 11. Honda NT 1100 DCT. Some motorcycles impress you during a short test ride. The Honda NT 1100 DCT impresses you after 300 miles, when your shoulders still feel good, your hands are not throbbing, and you realize you are nowhere near as drained as usual. That is the magic of this motorcycle. Honda designed the NT around real-world touring comfort, especially for riders who still love distance riding but no longer want to wrestle a machine all day long. The dual-clutch transmission handles shifting with such natural smoothness that many longtime manual riders eventually stop noticing the gearbox entirely. In traffic, the reduced workload feels almost therapeutic. On the highway, the bike settles into a calm, flowing rhythm that makes long rides feel remarkably manageable. The 1,084 cubic centimeter parallel twin delivers broad, usable torque without demanding aggressive riding, while the upright ergonomics and excellent wind protection reduce pressure on aging backs, knees, and wrists. Standard luggage at ease, genuine practicality for overnight touring and weekend escapes. And honestly, if you already think this level of comfort sounds impressive, just wait until we reach the top 5 machine later in this countdown that takes no drama even further. Because what is coming there completely rethinks what everyday motorcycle comfort can feel like. But bringing the focus back to the NT 1100, this is exactly why so many former sport touring riders quietly move toward bikes like this after 50. Less fatigue, less effort, more miles actually enjoyed. New NT 1100 DCT models generally land between $14,000 and $16,000 depending on market and trim, while well-kept used versions often range from $10,000 to $13,000. Some riders may wish for more excitement at higher speeds, but that completely misses the point. This motorcycle is not trying to thrill you for 15 minutes. It is trying to keep you riding comfortably for another 15 years. And honestly, the deeper we get into this list, the harder it becomes to ignore how good some of these systems have gotten. So if this kind of content is your thing, hit that like button, because the next machine on this list takes that same low-stress philosophy somewhere completely different. Number 10. Honda X ADV. The Honda X ADV does not care about motorcycle stereotypes, and honestly, that is exactly why so many older riders end up completely falling for it. Part scooter, part adventure machine, part touring bike. Somehow, Honda blended all three into one of the most easygoing motorcycles on this entire list. And for riders over 50, that combination makes a shocking amount of sense. The first thing you notice is how little effort the bike demands from your body. The step-through design makes climbing on and off dramatically easier than most adventure motorcycles, especially for riders dealing with stiff hips, sore knees, or lower back fatigue. Then the DCT transmission takes over and removes nearly all the stress from stop-and-go riding. Traffic becomes smoother. Parking lots become less awkward. Daily commuting stops feeling like work. The 745 cubic centimeter parallel twin still delivers enough low-end pull for highway touring, while the upright seating position and generous wind protection create a surprisingly relaxed, long-distance experience. And unlike most motorcycles, the underseat storage adds real practicality riders quickly become addicted to. New models usually land between $13,000 and $15,000 depending on market and trim, while used examples often sit comfortably below $12,000. But for some older riders, the adventure styling and taller feel still add more complexity than they actually want day to day. After months of ownership, many started looking for the next evolution of that same DCT smoothness, something lower, calmer, and even more relaxed for commuting and touring alike. And that exact shift in priorities is what brings us to the next machine. Number 9. Honda Forza 750. Many motorcycles demand energy every time you ride them. The Honda Forza 750 does the complete opposite. It quietly removes stress from everyday riding in ways many senior riders never expected. And that is exactly why so many longtime motorcyclists end up falling for it. At first glance, some riders dismiss the Forza because of the scooter styling. But the moment they spend real time with it, perceptions change fast. The relaxed step-through design makes getting on and off incredibly easy for riders dealing with stiff hips, aching knees, or reduced flexibility. And once the DCT transmission starts working its magic in traffic, the appeal becomes impossible to ignore. The 745 cubic centimeter parallel twin delivers smooth, usable power without feeling abrupt or tiring. Slow-speed riding feels balanced and controlled, while stop-and-go commuting becomes dramatically less frustrating without constant clutch work. Add the upright seating position, strong wind protection, and practical under-seat storage, and the Forza starts making a lot of sense for real-world riding. New models typically land between $12,000 and $14,000, while clean used examples often range from $8,000 to $11,000, depending on mileage and condition. But eventually, some riders start missing one thing: the feeling of distance, bigger horizons, longer routes, the ability to disappear for days without worrying about fatigue or clutch work catching up to them. That urge for true long-range freedom is exactly why the next bike enters this countdown, a machine built across continents while doing most of the hard work for you. Number 8. Honda Africa Twin Adventure Sports DCT. There comes a point where many riders stop chasing speed and start chasing ease, not because the passion disappears, but because the body starts keeping score. That is exactly why the Honda Africa Twin Adventure Sports DCT hits so differently for experienced riders who still dream about cross-country travel, mountain highways, and disappearing into the horizon, but no longer want every ride ending with sore wrists, stiff shoulders, and total exhaustion. That is exactly where this machine shines. Honda's DCT system completely changes the personality of long-distance adventure touring. In heavy traffic, there is no constant clutch squeezing, no endless shifting through congestion, no fighting the motorcycle on steep hill starts or crawling parking lots. The transmission handles everything with remarkable smoothness, letting riders focus on balance, scenery, and the simple joy of traveling again. The 1,084 cubic centimeter parallel twin delivers strong, manageable torque without feeling wild or intimidating, while the electronically adjustable suspension softens rough pavement before it punishes your back. Heated grips, cruise control, massive fuel range, and outstanding wind protection make this thing feel purpose-built for aging riders who still refuse to quit exploring. Brand new adventure sports ESDCT models usually start around $19,000 before fees, while clean used examples often range between $12,000 and $17,000, depending on year and equipment. But not every senior rider wants a tall adventure machine or cross-country expeditions anymore. Some are searching for the exact opposite: silence, simplicity, zero gearbox drama, and the easiest possible daily ride. That changing mindset pushed the next machine into the spotlight, and it does not even use gasoline to redefine freedom. Number 7. BMW CE04. The BMW CE04 does not feel like a traditional motorcycle, and honestly, that is exactly why so many senior riders are starting to love it. No clutch, no shifting, no engine vibration buzzing through your hands for hours. No scorching engine heat in traffic. You simply twist the throttle and move. For riders dealing with arthritis, stiff joints, shoulder fatigue, or reduced mobility, that simplicity can feel incredibly freeing. What surprises most longtime riders is how natural the experience becomes after only a few days. The electric motor delivers immediate but beautifully controlled acceleration, while the low-mounted battery keeps the center of gravity planted and reassuring at slower speeds. In traffic, the CE04 glides almost silently, removing so much of the physical and mental workload that normally wears riders down. The step-through layout also makes mounting and dismounting dramatically easier than many larger motorcycles. Around town, it feels approachable, balanced, and strangely relaxing to ride. Now yes, range remains the biggest compromise. Most riders realistically see somewhere between 80 and 120 miles, depending on speed and conditions. New CE04 models usually start around $12,000, while used examples often fall between $8,000 and $11,000. Still, many older riders discover something unexpected after living with this BMW. The less complicated riding becomes, the more often they actually want to ride. But for many longtime riders, full electric simplicity still leaves something missing. The pulse of an engine, the rhythm of highway miles, the feeling of a real touring machine beneath you. That is exactly why the next step in this countdown matters so much. It brings back classic cruiser soul without bringing back the physical strain riders were trying to escape in the first place. Number 6. Honda CMX 1100 Rebel Touring DCT. This is the point in the countdown where DCT motorcycles stop feeling like clever technology and start feeling like genuine long-term solutions for aging riders. The Honda CMX 1100 Rebel Touring DCT was built around one simple idea: make cruising easier on the body without draining the soul out of motorcycling. And judging by how many riders over 50 swear by this bike, Honda absolutely nailed it. The dual-clutch transmission handles traffic with smooth, almost effortless precision. No repetitive clutch squeezing, no aching left hand after an hour of stoplights, no awkward, low-speed panic during tight turns or crowded parking lots. The bike simply flows, allowing riders to stay relaxed instead of constantly managing the machine. The 1,083 cubic centimeter parallel twin delivers rich low-end torque with a calm, reassuring personality that never feels overwhelming. And with a seat height around 27 inches, the Rebel gives many riders that deeply important flat-foot confidence at stops. What makes the touring version special is the added wind protection and luggage, turning this cruiser into a genuine, lightweight tourer without the intimidating bulk of full-dress touring bikes. New models usually land just above $10,000, while clean-used DCT examples often range between $8,000 and $9,000, depending on year and accessories. And here's what really matters. Many former manual riders eventually realize this motorcycle does not make riding feel less authentic. It simply makes riding feel less exhausting. But not every experienced rider is ready to completely let go of that connected feeling manuals used to provide. Some still want technology that reduces the workload while keeping part of the shifting experience alive. And that exact tension between old school engagement and modern convenience is what pushed engineers toward the next direction in automatic riding. Number 5. Yamaha MT-09 YAMT. Not every motorcycle on this list is about slowing things down. Some are about helping you keep riding the way you always loved, just without the aches, the strain, and the endless clutch work. That is exactly what makes Yamaha's YAMT system feel so interesting. The MT-09. YAMT keeps much of the soul of traditional motorcycling alive while quietly removing one of the biggest sources of fatigue for seasoned riders. Constant shifting and clutch effort. No clutch lever, no sore left hand creeping in after traffic. You can let the bike handle gear changes automatically or tap through shifts from the handlebar when you want a little more involvement. At roughly 430 pounds wet, it feels surprisingly approachable for something this lively, while the riding balance helps calm low-speed nerves. Price-wise, brand new models land around $9,000, while lightly used examples are already beginning to appear closer to $7,000. But for many older riders, even partial shifting eventually starts to feel like unnecessary effort once they experience true automatic convenience. That realization is what moved attention toward the next machine, a design that quietly blurred the line between scooter comfort and motorcycle stability long before most riders were ready to accept it. Number 4. Honda Integra DCT. Some motorcycles arrived too early for people to understand them. The Honda Integra DCT. This was one of those machines. When it first appeared, plenty of riders scratched their heads. Years later, older motorcyclists are finally realizing Honda may have quietly predicted the future. Because the Integra was built around one simple idea: make riding feel lighter on the body without draining the joy out of it. The upright seating position feels natural. The wind protection takes pressure off longer rides, and Honda's famously smooth DCT system removes the stop and go exhaustion that can slowly wear down aging wrists, knees, and patience. Traffic becomes calmer. Hill starts feel less stressful. Long afternoons in the saddle stop feeling like work. Its 745 cubic centimeter parallel twin is dependable and easygoing, while the balanced feel keeps low speed, riding reassuring. New ones are gone, but that creates opportunity. Well-kept used examples often sit between roughly $4,500 and $8,000. Still, you might want a machine that feels lower, more grounded, and more familiar to traditional cruiser riders, stepping away from manual transmissions for the first time. That demand for simplicity without intimidation is exactly why the next bike became such an important gateway into automatic motorcycling. Number 3. Honda CTX 700 DCT. Some motorcycles scream for attention. The Honda CTX 700 DCT never bothered, and strangely enough, that is exactly why so many older riders have fallen in love with it years later. Honda built this machine around a question most manufacturers rarely ask: what happens when a rider still loves motorcycles, but no longer wants every mile to feel like work? The answer feels wonderfully simple. A low-confidence building seat sitting just over 28 inches off the ground. Relaxed ergonomics that take pressure off tired hips, knees, and shoulders. In a DCT system. So natural in traffic that after a while, you stop thinking about shifting entirely. No clutch squeezing at stoplights. No constant hand strain during longer days. Just smooth, steady motion that lets your attention drift back toward the scenery instead of the gearbox. Its 700 cubic centimeter parallel twin is calm rather than aggressive, delivering easygoing power without intimidation. When new DCT models generally landed around $9,000, while clean used examples today often range between $4,500 and $7,500. But eventually, what if you regain confidence and start wanting something bigger again? More technology, more capability, more range, more control over every mile ahead. When that hunger for premium adventure touring returns without the desire to wrestle a manual gearbox, the next machine becomes impossible to ignore. Number 2, BMW R 1300 GS ASA. The BMW R 1300 GS ASA exists for experienced riders who still want the prestige, road presence, and cross-country confidence of a full-size adventure machine, just without the non-stop clutch work wearing them down mile after mile. BMW approached this differently. Instead of removing rider involvement altogether, the ASA system quietly takes physical strain off your body. No clutch lever, no endless squeezing and crawling traffic, no tiring hill, start dance on steep grades. The bike can shift automatically or let you tap through gears from the bars when you want a little more control. And somehow, it still feels unmistakably planted, commanding, ready for distance. Yes, it carries premium pricing. Brand new models typically begin around $21,000, while lightly used examples often land closer to $18,000. Enjoying the video so far? Hit that like button. And if you want to support the channel even more, becoming a member gives you early access to new videos before they go live. The BMW shows just how far automated motorcycle technology has evolved, especially for riders who still crave serious capability without constant clutch work. But even that level of innovation leaves one final question unanswered. What happens when absolute comfort becomes the priority above everything else? Not speed, not off-road performance, just effortless miles, maximum confidence, and complete peace of mind for the rider and passenger alike. That search leads directly to the next machine, the one many former manual riders now describe as the easiest long-distance motorcycle they have ever owned. Number 1. Honda Goldwing Tour Airbag DCT. And finally, the motorcycle that changed how countless older riders think about long-distance freedom. The Honda Goldwing Tour Airbag DCT is not simply a motorcycle. For many seasoned riders, it became the machine that quietly gave them their riding life back. Because Honda did not just remove clutch work here, it reimagined what aging comfortably on two wheels could actually feel like. The DCT system is astonishingly seamless. Crawling traffic feels calmer. Slow parking lot. Maneuvers stop feeling intimidating. Hill starts become smoother. And Honda's clever walking mode helps guide this heavyweight machine forward or backward without the usual wrestling match. Then comes the comfort. Plush seating, superb wind protection, highway smoothness that feels almost unreal. Its flat-six engine glides through miles with effortless grace, while the balanced chassis disguises much of the weight once moving. New models typically begin around $33,000, while clean used DCT examples often range between $18,000 and $30,000. And maybe that is the real magic. This motorcycle does not just extend riding years, it helps riders fall in love with the open road all over again. But this is nowhere near the end of what is happening in the motorcycle world right now. The next video takes it even further. We are talking lighter bikes, smarter touring machines, hidden reliability gems, and the motorcycles longtime riders are switching to after getting tired of heavy, complicated setups. Click the next video and keep the ride going. Subscribe to join the channel, and if you want early access to upcoming uploads, become a member. And before you head out, do not forget to like the video.